66 million years ago. Planet Earth was ruled by dinosaurs, both majestic and extraordinary.
Great to be here, very happy. It's a big day.
Yeah, it's really massive. As the paleontologist consulting on the series, they're really important to convey the audience about what was like your most element.
Yeah, for me there's like a list of sort of like key messages that we really wanted to get across, which we kind of, we did that in the first season. The idea that our sort of vision of dinosaurs and other animals at the time, they were really complex animals with complex social lives. They looked really cool, we've done a lot of work to encapsulate modern scientific thinking on their appearance. But I would say that in this second season in particular, we give a much kind of stronger feeling for the complexity of the world that they lived in. It used to be thought that like life in the past was less complex than that of today, and that's not true. Studies have shown that's not true. It's like if you were walking around in like a rainforest in the Cretaceous, it would be similar to a modern one in terms of the complexity of how many living things there were and how many layers there were to the plant growth and stuff like that. So I really wanted to get that across. And finally, the sort of interactions you have happen in between the animals. If you imagine like an animal in its environment, it's a fully embedded part of that environment. It's involved in that environment, and it's involved with the other animals that are there. So it's not just like the only interactions between these animals are predator-prey relationships. It's like you would have herbivores competing with herbivores. You'd have like animals like that understand how their environment works. They know where to go for shelter and for water and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's this like deeper, more complex view of that world that we've conveyed.
Awesome, yeah. It's perfect that it shows like a lot more emotions and variety, because usually in shows it's just like predator attacks prey runs, there's a fight. But yeah, I'm glad that it's more like nuanced. That's perfect. Awesome. I was also wondering, how can you tell us that you what sort of knowledge and research did you bring into giving like the animals their own like traits and like unique sort of like personalities and stories?
Right. Well, those of us on the scientific side, there's like multiple different layers that we were involved in. So basically every part of the process is the short answer. The slightly longer answer is we were, myself and other scientists, we were involved in like coming up with the storylines in the first place, working together with the team to say what we could and couldn't have. Then actually building the assets, like what do we actually know about their anatomy from the fossils, and then finally all of the complexity and the nuances of like how we show them moving and what we show them doing. That's again a combination of what we actually know from the fossil record, like how we think their joints moved and stuff like that, but it's combined with our knowledge of living animals. What do living animals do and how much of that is applicable to fossil ones? So yeah, it's loads of different layers of expertise I was involved in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice. Yeah, and for my final question, if you had to like choose one, which prehistoric creature did you find the most like interesting to work on for these projects?
That's a really good question, and I guess we're all biased because we like some animals more than others.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a big fan of predatory dinosaurs. I really like the long-necked sauropod dinosaurs. I'm really into marine reptiles. But I suppose one of the most interesting groups for me are the pterosaurs, and in particular the Astarchids, these gigantic, long-necked, long-billed pterosaurs. To me, like to bring them to life on the screen was like, wow, they look amazing, and so many people weren't even aware of them beforehand. So to actually get them to come to life was a real plus point for me.
It's crazy. Thank you so much. We really appreciated having this interview with you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, you're right. Nice to meet you today. So, congratulations on the new season of Prehistoric Planet. The first season was just a stunning treat with, epic visuals and really like immersive storytelling. So, what can audiences expect for the second season?
Well, I'm glad you liked the visuals and the immersive storytelling, because that was our aim. The idea is to make it feel like you've actually gone on a kind of safari 66 million years ago. So this series takes that even further. I mean, one of the things that David says, and you'll see when you watch it, the opening, he says is, since we were making the first series, dinosaurs are being discovered all the time. New discoveries, but also new interpretations of what they do. So we wanted to say, well, look, we need to tell people. So they're going to see that. Also, the technology, every month that goes by, the speed of the computers, the technology, how we understand the process of making these creatures, we get better at it. So I think you'll notice it looks even better.
Yeah.
And the third thing is that like we do when we do a real wildlife show, we feel more confident about taking the camera closer to the animals. So I think you'll feel more immersed, more involved in their lives.
So more like a Jurassic Park vibe, you know?
No, I think it feels more like Planet Earth.
Oh, okay.
When you watch this, it should feel like you're watching Planet Earth, but not filmed today, filmed 66 million years ago. So all the techniques, all the emotions you get from watching Planet Earth about is the animal going to survive? Do I care about its life? Those are the same emotions I hope you feel with this.
Yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. My final question, what was it like working with David Attenborough? Because that's just a stunning achievement.
Well, I've been very fortunate. I've worked with him virtually off and on all my working life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was in my 20s when I started working with him. So I've done lots of projects, but this one I think has been a really interesting one because neither of us have done really a series about animals that don't exist anymore. And so working with him on this, he's very, very he's very keen on authenticity and accuracy. So David is very scientific, and he's a brilliant storyteller, but it's all pinned down into the science. So he really wanted to make sure, as we did, that this was very, very accurate and built on real strong foundation of science. So that was a big driver. But also, what he brings, of course, is that sense of absolute immersion, as you've said. That sense I'm in this world, because that's what he spent his life doing, telling you stories about the world he's seen. So I hope when you watch it, you feel like you're standing alongside him. You've both got a pair of binoculars and you're watching these animals and he's saying, see, why are these animals doing this and this and this and this? If you get that, then we work. Then it's worked.
Great, thank you so much.
No,
This is fine.
I mean, the technology's moved on.
I'm very good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. This is crazy. Just so immersive.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so my question, the series is just really realistic. It looks like an actual crew was sent over to study the dinosaurs. But how is this achieved? Like, was CGI used? Were there like animatronic props? How is this used?
Well, the whole aim is that it does look as though we went back in a time machine. That was the selling point right at the start. Was it's Planet Earth 66 million years ago. Now, to achieve that, we spent ages working out what the dinosaurs and the other animals would look like. Then we worked out what kind of environments they were in. Then we chose locations that gave us those environments. So we went all over the world and we filmed in different locations. But when we filmed, we only filmed the background and there's no animals in it. And we take loads of data reference, so light reference and what have you. Then we come back with those shots of the background, stick it all together, and then we stick the dinosaurs in. So the dinosaurs are made as 3D models in a computer. And if one computer was going to do the whole series, guess how many years it would take for that computer to do it?
I'm not sure. How much would that be?
We had 3,000 years just to render out all those images. So we spent ages, working out how the dinosaurs move, like looking at different reference of animals to see how they move. And we worked with some incredible people who film animals all around the world and know how these animals would have behaved. And then we stick it all together, stick the music on, get Sir David Attenborough to read the voiceover, and then we get to see it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Nice meeting you.
About to transport you back 66 million years to the Cretaceous and bring back to life iconic dinosaurs and other astonishing species in spectacular style. And as if that wasn't enough for you this evening, there's a bit of a clue behind me, but the BBC National Orchestra of Wales, conducted by Ben Foster. Performing live the original score from Hans Zimmer and Bleeding Fingers music to accompany the screening.
Dinosaurs ruled the planet for over 150 million years. This is Prehistoric Planet 2. Only on Apple TV+.